CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I want to tell you about Explore the Trades. They're delivering information about plumbing, HVAC, and electrical directly to students throughout North America. Today, we are going to meet Kate Cinemo, and she is the executive director of Explore the Trades, and we're going to learn all about what they're doing. Kate, welcome to CMMS Radio.
Thank you, Greg, for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I know you and I have talked a few times. We've traded comments on LinkedIn, of course, and I'm a huge fan of what you're doing. I think the skilled trades is so important and building the future of America when it comes to that. I'm one of those guys that's like, man, when are they going to put shop classes back in high schools? Maybe bring some of that into the middle schools again. How and why did it go away? And it fits into CMMS Radio because CMMS is computerized maintenance management software. So you have people that are part of the maintenance process in all these different capacities in organizations. And then even if they're not within an organization that's servicing a facility or manufacturing, they're out there in the world helping residents, things that happen here, there, and everywhere. So I think it's at the heart of the matter where we need skilled trades to be front and center. We're not against college, but it's like, hey, you can go out here and do this real work and you're pretty much never going to be out of work. There's always going to be problems to fix. So I want to know from you, how did this all start? Explore the Trades. And for you, what is some of that journey as to how it started?
Sure. Well, thank you for the intro. And to give our listeners sort of some history about Explore the Trades, the organization was founded in 2005 as a nonprofit, and it was founded by residential service contractors who wanted to give back to an industry that had been so good to them. And at that point in time, they could see what that workforce challenge was going to look like. They could see into the crystal ball and say, hey, you know what? We have to get the trades in front of young people, right? Because we're going to need those people for our companies. And I came into the seat in 2017. Like a lot of other people, I sort of fell into the trades. I didn't grow up with it. My parents didn't work in the trades. I didn't have any close friends or family in the trades. And I had come from the senior healthcare and housing industry. So I was in that sector and worked a lot with community relations and grant management, sort of the administrative side of the business. And one day woke up and just felt like I wanted to do something different. So, found this position on LinkedIn and the rest is history. And I remember having conversations with a close colleague of mine and, someone new to the trades. That's a challenging onboarding because you're figuring out the organization, but then you want to understand the industry itself and all of the pieces and how it works together so that now you can explain what the trades are to students who are also green in that aspect. And my colleague shared with me that, after a while, he said, you will learn to love the trades. And, the comment sat with me and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. But, you go 6, 8, 12 months into the role and doing what I'm doing. And you think, yep, now I see it. You get to know the people, you get to know the business, you understand how all of those pieces work together to make the trades what they are and the importance and how we live with them every day. And that never has left me. You will learn to love the trades. And I totally get it.
So my cheeks are hurting right now because I'm smiling. I'm smiling hard. And I'm thinking back to like when I was a young buck and, talking about like shop classes in high school and the work that we would go and do, the jobs that we would get. It was a good thing if you're doing anything trades related, anything, kind of harder kind of work where you actually do real work, where you don't sit behind a desk. And it's such a critical component of everything that we do. And what you're talking about when you come into the industry and you don't have as much of an awareness as the folks around you, what's also cool is you'll start to see it all connect because
Mhm.
those subject matter experts, they're going to guide you. They're going to say, oh, hey, do you have any questions? Or, oh, hey, go check this, that, and the other thing out, and then come talk to me. And then you start filling in and coloring it in like this new picture. But when you learn that and get to participate in these conversations with younger students and people that could eventually really start loving the trades or being creators, anything like that,
Mhm.
it reinforces your knowledge and you get to see not just your own light bulb going off, right? But you get to see it with them and in their eyes and what they do. So
Mhm.
I I looked up some information just a little bit, and as of 2024, you've helped 330,000 plus students. And what I'd like to know is how does all of this really work? And you can explain that any way you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you for calling out our impact report. It's on our website, explorethetrades.org. I'm gonna plug that. So the way I would describe it, Greg, is so our mission at Explore the Trades is bridging the technical talent gap to the plumbing, HVAC, and electrical trades. And like we've talked about, our focus has really been refined to how can we best serve the kindergarten through 12th grade population and all of the people in that. So it's students, it's teachers, it's school counselors, it's parents. Parents, that's a tough audience to reach. And what we want to do is ensure that all of these people in that pool understand the importance of these three trades. They understand what an apprenticeship is because you realize, okay, well, if the trades haven't been as present in schools as they were when we were younger, there's probably a lot of people who've never heard that word before. So let's understand what that is. Let's understand how someone can get started in the trades because everybody knows how to get to college, but not everybody knows how to get started. And so a lot of the tools that we have, which are all found online, are comprised of two main programs that we have. One of which is a poster program. So we took information about all three trades and we made three separate poster kits, if you will, that teachers can request for free. Counselors, we've had a lot of small businesses request them too to incorporate them into their onboarding and recruiting. But these three different components talk about, what is that career path as a plumber, HVAC tech, electrician? What are some estimated wages that you would make along that path? And then also, what is that path? So, starting from an apprenticeship all the way to potentially being a small business owner, let's really lay out what that journey looks like. So we have a kit that describes that in English, and we've also just introduced a Spanish version of that as well, knowing
Nice.
that we have a lot more Hispanic students in our schools around the country, and we want to make sure that there's tools for those native speakers as well. And then also brand new is we created a series of posters for elementary kids. So
Mm.
think kindergarten through fifth grade, those early readers with illustrations of those technicians working in a home and just calling out some simple pieces of equipment in the home that they might see in their basement. So, hey, that giant cylinder in the basement, that's your water heater, and it just very plainly talks about all of these different pieces so that they can start to think, oh, yeah, when I see them in the house, that's what that does. And that's how we have warm water when we wash the dishes or, just things like that. So that's one component we have. So those are the direct to school resources we have. And the other program we have that's really made an impact is our partnership with Ferguson. So we created a skills lab program. And in partnership with them, we've been able to deliver plumbing and HVAC equipment to 25 schools in 15 different states around the country, just as a way to, ensure that those schools who've made the commitment for trades education have the tools they need. And part of that reason is we know that school budgets aren't extensive, right? We know that a lot of trades classes have been moved out because there's no money for them. So we want to make sure that these schools, middle schools and high schools have a leg up on getting the trades in front of their students.
Yeah, that's and I love that you brought that up because you anticipated. It's kind of serendipitous about. So one of my questions: what is the Explore the Trade Skills Lab? I see that you're partnered with Ferguson for equipment grants, which is phenomenal because schools don't have these existing budgets anymore. They've phased out for good, bad, or indifferent, right? And we're trying to push that back. So that means Ferguson is getting on board with helping facilitate that. That's incredible. And also, you're partnered now with SkillCat,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they're part
Yes.
of that, the skills lab. So what
Yes.
they're doing is bringing technical training to the students at the recipient schools.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's pretty cool. How's that been
Yeah.
so far?
So that's been great. And the team at SkillCat, we had been talking, for a couple years and just, again, quick exchanges, see how things are going.
Mhm.
And what's been great is we have learned of schools who had used it and had great success with it. And the students really liked it because it's on their tablets, they can work through it. And so when we came to the partnership with them for the technical side, for the training side, it's been really great because now the instructors have curriculum that they need to teach based on their requirements from their state's Department of Education. But now we have the extensive catalog of training from SkillCat that is complementary to what they're doing. So the students and the teachers are getting the best of both worlds, which is awesome.
Yeah, that I had a somewhat recent episode with SkillCat. Had Ruchir on.
Oh
and
yeah. Yep.
really like what they're doing. It's interesting and it's impactful, and they're going to continue to, do a lot of things for the industry as well. So I loved seeing that you're partnered up and
Yes.
driving this whole thing forward. It's important. It's critically important.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you mentioned even back when Explore the Trades was launched,
Mhm.
those individuals saw the gap coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think when something like that happens and it arrives, you just have to keep pushing and trying and pushing and trying. So, we're shouting from the mountaintops and just trying to keep these messages out there. You mentioned one thing about the parents,
Yeah.
and I've thought about that too, at least locally out here on the West Coast. And so I have a really, really good friend that owns body shops.
Mhm.
And he and I were talking about, finding a way to get in front of parents and schools at the same time to
Mhm.
inspire some of these things to come back, or at least give them alternatives, so that, hey, your kids could learn information here, get exposure to it there, and then figure out when they get to that stage for college, maybe they don't have to go to college. I have a friend, I'm going to switch it to another friend. His name is Brian Bieski, and uh, he's he told me a story once that, hey, Greg, do you realize if two really good plumbers got together, formed a business, and got out there and did great work, they would, in a couple of years or so, be likely generating $600,000 plus per year. That's a real thing. And I think that's another thing that can get students and parents excited, not to mention when you see someone that's in the trades or in maintenance management. I talk to a lot of like reliability people.
Yeah.
They're focused in on maintenance and reliability best practices, oftentimes in production and manufacturing environments. I guess those are the same, to create more availability of machines so they're not breaking down, they're actually producing good high quality equipment. And the reality behind this awareness, it parents can get excited about that.
Mhm.
You don't have to go, because if you want to become a doctor, go become a doctor. If you want to be a lawyer, go be a lawyer. All these different things, great, good stuff, right? But don't sleep on the skilled trades. I think so. There's that, and then I know you happen to know Andrew Brown,
Yes, I do. Yes, I
and
do.
he's a huge proponent
Yeah.
of the trades in
Yep.
any way, shape, or form, and he goes around and gives great talks and all that. So this is important stuff, and it makes a difference. So there's a real path forward. I agree with you that we've got to get those parents to understand, it's not just greasy, grimy work. It's actually stuff that makes a difference, because if your skilled trades go away or they're just not available, you are in deep trouble, right?
Right. Well, and I think with parents is that, in our, work circles and social circles, myself and a lot of my friends, are Gen X, right? We're sort of later Gen X, right on the cusp of millennial. And and you where we are now, a lot of us have kids from elementary, middle school, high school. So we're spanning the ranges. And I think what's interesting is we all remember when we had shop class, and we did, and we had auto body and all that kind of stuff. And then after we graduated, and we can see it now, but schools started to take away all of those classes. And so we are where we are with a number of different factors. But the fact is that we lost out on almost an entire generation of tradespeople.
Yeah.
And it's not the fault of the students. When people say, well, students, they don't want to work in plumbing. Well, I would argue they don't even know that that's a thing. I think it's lack of awareness. I think parents now, I think they're definitely opening up that perspective to say, yeah, if you guys want to go to college, fine. But to your point, you can make really good money doing all of these things. And I think we all have the inside baseball on how much these industries have advanced from 20 years ago. So, it's not always grimy. It's, you're not just working with your tool bag, because now your tool bag has the iPad in it and you're working with all of these smart devices. And I think it's just that continuous education piece of, well, yeah, I mean, all of these trades, yeah, there's some dirty work, but there's also, you're working with the latest technology that now the homeowner can use from their phone. And so
Yeah.
I think old perceptions have stuck, and not everybody knows how all of the trades have advanced. And it's the same thing with school, is that, oh, well, we took out shop and welding and auto body because, the instructor retired and we can't find anyone else, and the school board doesn't want to spend money on it. And now it's, that's flipped. And now
Yeah.
school districts are ready to invest, and they're looking for people to hire to teach those jobs. So it's, we're coming back around. Thank goodness.
It feels like that. And I think we have to also be careful not to let up on carrying forward these messages. And
Yeah.
the one thing about this kind of work, I cannot really think of anyone that I've met in the trades that do heavy equipment repair, working on streets, HVAC, huge, plumbing, huge.
Right.
I haven't heard any of them really complain about the fact that they get to go out, do this work, fix a problem for somebody, and they're not stuck behind a desk most of the time. They got to do some administration to run their business or whatever, but that's just, it comes with the territory. You can do a lot of that on a phone now with the technology, like you said. And they have what I think is an extremely rewarding and fulfilling life and lifestyle. I know people in the trades that they're loaded.
Yeah.
They have a lot of money, but they work hard, and they love to work hard, because the more hard work they do, they get better at it. It's always hard, but they just get better at it.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing, and they're all about it. And these are also people that you want around once they've developed those skills, worked in those businesses. You want them around when stuff goes wrong.
Right.
Because they're problem solvers.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting, when you're going through all of these attributes and the traits that these people have. And that's one thing that our team has tried to convey to teachers and parents, to say, hey, here's the reason why your students, your children need to know about these trades and these careers. And we break it down in so much that on our website, there's information about, hey, when you're in high school and you're taking math and physics and chemistry and English, all of those, here's how they're directly applicable to those trades. And that can be said for any of them. I mean, that can be said for all of these vocations. And I don't think people realize that. Like, oh, when I'm a plumber, I have to calculate algebra because I'm looking at angles of pipes and fittings, and it's like, just because they're in the trades doesn't mean they haven't gone through higher education, because that higher education is that apprenticeship that you just went through. And oh, by the way, that's highly regulated by the state that you would like to work in. So it's again, it's all, you peel back the onion and go, hey, did you know this? Did you know that? Mm-hmm. And that's, again, we just have to keep shouting it, like you said.
Yeah. And that's, I've loved this conversation so far, and I definitely want to keep talking about explore the trades, and we're going to be doing that. But there's one thing that first timers on CMMS radio must suffer through. It is called the fun question segment. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First fun question. What is your favorite music?
Oh, my favorite music is probably, I'm going to go like 70s, 80s. I'm never going to say no to yacht rock. I'm just going to be honest. But then, like, Billy Joel is one of my all-time favorites. So that's where I am.
Got that rebel yell. The second fun question, and there's no wrong answers on any of this stuff. Second fun question is, what is your favorite sport or hobby? And on sport, it does not have to be one that you play. It could be one you like to root for.
Okay. I would say my favorite sport to watch is baseball. Our family loves going to baseball games. I played softball in school. And then one of my hobbies is I like to weightlift. We have a gym in the garage, and that's what I like to do.
Nice. Yeah. I like it. And the state where you're from is actually, it's really popular for people to be active and stay healthy. And that's right. Of course, I'm sure you root for your Twinkies. That means twins, everybody. Third question. This is the big one. All right. No wrong answers. I remind you of that. What is your philosophy, perspective, opinion, anything at all when it comes to the concept of work-life balance?
Oh, that's the tricky one. I would say I like to think about it like this. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at that. Let's just say that. And I think that with the onset of hybrid work, I think that gives a lot more freedoms. And it's not uncommon for me to work at night or work whenever the spirit moves me. But yeah, I think the hybrid environment has definitely helped.
Well, I agree. And the reason I say there's no wrong answers on things like that is we're all having our own unique experiences, and essentially everyone has to work. Even if you don't have to work, you have to work at something, and you have to work on yourself. There's family and all this. So there's no wrong answers with that stuff. It gets people thinking. Right. And so great job on the fun question segment.
I hope I passed.
It's not like that. It's for us to have a little bit of fun, and we're just real people trying to get some good messages out there and kind of learn a bit about how you're driving things forward with Explore the Trades. I think it's hugely impactful. And I want to ask first, before I do the closeout here, how can people support what you're doing at Explore the Trades?
Sure. So Explore the Trades is a nonprofit, and certainly we are able to contribute the classroom posters and be a part of the Skills Lab program. We're able to do that because of the financial support of people. So if anyone is ever so moved to make a donation, whether it's a small business, whether it's an industry vendor, we that giving opportunity is on our website. And our website is explorethetrades.org. And we're on the social channels with the handle of @ExploreTheTrades.
Excellent. Well, Kate, thank you for being here with me on CMMS Radio. And folks out there, go learn about the growth opportunities, earning potential, and importance of plumbing, HVAC, and electrical trades. Don't forget welding. And that's at explorethetrades.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.